Yes, good day, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk Education with School Advocacy. My name is Awoni Babatunde Augustine. On today's program, we'll be considering the topic learning styles. But before we go ahead, I'd like to ask us these questions. Firstly, do learners learn the same way? Do learners learn the same way? Secondly, is learning all about the child being smart? Or is it about whether your teaching methodology matches the uniqueness or preference of the child as regards learning? Or should I put it this way? Is it about whether your teaching methodology accommodates the multiplicity of learners' preference or uniqueness or peculiarity as regards learning? The goal of every classroom situation is that learning should take place. But the truth is, there are certain complexities that could hinder that process or that could hinder the achievement of that goal. And one of it is learning style or learning styles. So what are learning styles? Learning styles is a concept that I regard as an offshoot or a product of individual differences. That's psychological context that says that all fingers are not equal. It means that people have distinguishing behavioral pattern, distinguishing psychological behavior, emotionally, socially, and intelligence-wise. So let's take a cue from that and bring it to the classroom situation. Can we say that learners approach learning tasks differently? Or can we ask that question, that how best do this child like to learn? How does it like to learn? Have you asked yourself that question as a teacher? So what are learning styles? Learning styles can be defined as the individual peculiarity that exists in a child, which distinguishes him from other children as it regards learning. Or we could also define it as the individual peculiarity or observable pattern of behavior that a child exhibits that differentiates him from others or distinguishes him from others as regards how he approaches learning. That is, how he concentrates in class, how he receives information, how he perceives information, how he retains information, how he absorbs information, and how he presents information, or how he interacts with the learning environment. This is a major concept we must consider as learners, as teachers, as parents, even as society as large. So for the next few weeks, we'll be looking at this topic, learning styles. We'll be looking at it from the perspective of the parent, look at it from the perspective of the student, we look at it from the perspective of the teachers and also the society. You ask me why. As a child or as a student, you must understand what works best for you. You know, there's something over time I've always told my student, that the way you learn is different from the way others learn. So capitalize on your strength. Understand what works best for you. Or we used to say, there are people that do not like to study at a particular time. But there are people that study with music on, and there are people that don't like to study when there is noise. So definitely, students learn differently. And if we really want to achieve a student-centered learning, if we really want to achieve self-study, if we really want to achieve what I call student autonomy to learning, then we must help this student understand their learning preference or their learning peculiarity or uniqueness. And they can capitalize on this strength. Also for teachers, it will help teachers understand how to enrich their instructional strategy to accommodate the multiplicity that exists among children. Also for parents, it will help parents understand how to provide enabling environment. Let me give an instance. Let's say we have a child that learns by the use of a recorder. He finds it boring to read from the note, so he prefers to read this note into the recorder and then listen later. It will be advisable for such a parent to provide the child with a recorder. And also the society. We have kinesthetic learners. We would consider all these things in the next program. But we have kinesthetic learners that loves hands-on learning. I believe there are workshops in the society that the schools can actually explore and help the child to have real life experience, activity-based learning. So for the next few weeks, we'll be discussing learning styles from each of this perspective. It's going to be fun, it's going to be interactive. I'll be providing coaching for students who are interested in finding out how to identify their learning style and how to capitalize on it. Thank you very much for joining. But I'll leave us with those two questions. Let's answer in the comment section. Do learners learn the same way? Is learning about the child being smart? Or is it about whether your instructional strategy accommodates that multiplicity? Should I say you must be chameleon-like as a teacher? Yes, because every child in your class does not learn the same way. So instructional strategy must accommodate that multiplicity. Thank you very much for joining. My name remains Awini Babatunde Augustine. Thank you very much.